Today's class is very important, that why are we suffering more now than way before? Because if you really take your age and go to part of earlier stage, that we didn't suffer as much, even there were difficulties. At the moment, what is happening is we are very impatient because we are constantly virtually forced into what fashion, what style, what to be. And we're trying to get into those areas very quickly as possible. Hi, Dad. And this is very important, that these level of addictions are much more than ever before. So obviously, when people have an idea of, if I have this item, if I have this house, if I have this car, if I have this clothing, if I have these shoes, if I have this relationship, rather than learning the journey of it, to have that, I'm not asking you to not to have desire, but forcing that desire constantly as something that is lacking in your life create a lot of suffering. Now you have to understand, when you come into the space of the realization, that you understand that you don't have to have something to be in that place of understanding, because awareness is, I am aware of my thoughts, I'm aware of my emotions, and even the emotions are quite a level of desiring things or negative. It doesn't matter. Don't resist your dark side, don't resist your negativity, because resistance to resist that is also not what we are teaching. Because you might think the outcome is doing things, outcome is rearranging things, but it's not. It's coming into this place of, I'm allowing things to come, not even I am, the space of awareness, allowing things to move out. It doesn't need your personal judgment or praise or anything. And it's not even about right and wrong. As I always say, what is right in this moment can be wrong in the next moment. So I'm asking you to not to be in the place of polarity, allowing the practice to just be there, and a place of, you're taking a break from all these virtual things that are happening in the world. Suddenly I wanted to save the world. Suddenly I want to be opposed to this. I want to be in favor of this. And this separation is quite, especially for younger generation, that they are so much engaged in what is right. It's quite a lot of frustrations in them, more than what we have experienced in our lifetime. Was very different. It would have been a war that we went through, or it might be a struggle of a separation between certain people or certain company. But this is way more than, because virtually everyone has a mobile phone or iPad or news, and it's just always create the mind to be engaged. And this part of practice is, even if the mind is engaged, even that you're going through chronic pain, there is a part that it is only happening to the identification of your body and your mind, but not necessarily the part that we are going to work, which we are going to not even work, which we are going to move into that space of observation. Because anytime it is just a vehicle, and if you embrace that space of genuinely, so I'm not saying to you, because some of you have asked me, are you telling me avoid the pain? No, I have never said. I always say it's okay to have a thought to heal the body, but as it is. So now taking a very deep breath into the space of this understanding, very gently allow for you to just gently feel that space of what you have created. That breath moves in and breath moves out. And very gently also finding a space for that elongation of the spine, elongation of the body, and allowing the body to come into that place of not forced, not as coming into a space of something to do. But whether you're still or whether you're in motion, doesn't matter, but you're aware of it. So I will gently move the camera towards Darren. So now gently take a deep breath in and arms raise onto the ground and interlacing the fingers. Just allow those armpits, elbows, wrist, knuckles to create some space. And very gently stretching that arm back and keep that elongation of the head and the neck and the spine. And when you're ready, gently allow the breath to move out, very gently releasing the tension of the elbows, shoulder blades, and opening up that space of the chest. Now take another gentle deep breath and arms raised onto the ground. Interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Allow those palms to gently face up. There is no thoughts coming that life should be not painful, life should be painful, without there's no pain, without there's no gain. All those things observe. Nothing is in a space of denying. Now very gently hold onto your left wrist very gently and push that left arm towards the right very gently without tightening the hips on the right side. Open up the armpit a bit more up to the space of the light. Very gently creating that space out of that realization that you call armpit, what would be the frequency, the vibration, and the energy. Now very gently breathing in back into the center, shoulders relaxed. And if you're tired, you can relax the arms, but otherwise holding on to the right and turning that right wrist up and stretching towards the left. Very gently allowing the space to grow into that space of the depth. So you could see at that very moment the cry, the weeping, the clinging, all these things in the body as energy not has grown up, not has come into this place of maturity. You're allowing without the language to open up. Breathing in, coming back into the center, spread the wings wider, wider, and very gently dropping onto the floor. Now very gently take a deep breath in, very gently dropping the right elbow onto the floor and left arm reaching up onto the side. So if you're sitting on a higher level, allow the knees to drop, allow the hips to drop, and open up those rib cage. Don't avoid anything because it's giving a pain or a difficulty. With all that pain, without avoiding it, open up that space and start breathing into that space. Breathing into the space of the reality, the only reality beyond the body and the mind, beyond the thought, beyond the emotion. Encountering this truth, breathing in, coming back gently, 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 gently. Now very gently change the leg formation. I'm very gently using this yin practice to move on to the other side when you're ready. Very gently Right arm reaching up, left elbow dropped onto the floor, onto the side, without lifting up the hips. Very gently take that deep breath in. Suffering comes from your desire that the pain should not be there, that there is something wrong in the pain. But today's practice is watching that space, witnessing that space. Whether it's a pain of the arm, pain of the shoulder, pain of a headache, breathe. Breathing in very gently, coming back. Shoulders roll back few times. Very gently elongate the spine, lift up the space of the heart. Allow things to be there. Who is asking the pain should not be there? Now there is a witness is witnessing even the judgment about it. Now what you can do in the practice, don't call it a bad pain or a good pain. Part is you don't give any value. Shoulders relax. Now very gently twisting the spine on an elongation into the spine onto the left side. Now very gently, once you start breathing out very gently, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock slightly, but in the space of opening. Don't evaluate your experience, because the pain only can happen to you. If you're not there, then the identification is not there. It's not happening. Breathing in very gently, coming back into the center, shoulders relaxed, chest open. Now change the leg formation very gently. Take another deep breath in. And when you're breathing out very gently, twisting the spine to the right side, shoulders open. Also, you're engaging that anus and the navel and the throat, but your chest is open, but it is spread. Now, if anything that you are going through, observe your interpretation about it. Observe your denial about it. Observe that if you're avoiding it, that's why I said don't avoid it. Observe that you're not turning yourself away from it, because people come to meditation to turn away from it. Breathing in very gently back into the center, shoulders relax and chest open. Now take a deep breath in, elongate the back, let the kidneys become more buoyant, and very gently dropping the elbows into the front. In this way, you can sit on the Sukhasana so your ankles are not crossed. You can lift up the buttocks slightly and have a cushion in there. And take a deep breath in and drop the elbows. Walk the palms into the front. But what you should observe, not to divert yourself from the posture, but also not hunching your back. Don't distract anything. Everything that has come into your, even things that you don't like about you, should be witnessed. So don't allow by distraction anything to absorb you. If anything, you should merge into observing. Now take a deep breath in, very gently coming back, shoulders relaxed and chest open. Now very gently, you're practicing a seated cat. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. very gently. Hunch the back, chin to the chest, and you just be there. Simply see it. Simply observe it. Simply allow a platform to feel it. I'm not saying that you can get out of it miraculously. Just by your seeing it, it won't have the commentary of the pain that you're talking about. It will go in its own time as it will come in its own time, but it will not absorb by your systems. It will not further poison you. Now take a deep breath in, shoulders roll back, opening up into the space of the cow. Tongue roll up into the upper palate, energy gaze onto the third eye. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Witness. Now witnessing is, I can't witness it, but I am witnessing what I call I. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the third eye. When you're absent from witnessing, everything enters into the space of the system. Only when you're absent can pain become part of your body, part of your mind, or even part of your being. If you're present, your very moment of the realization prevents it from becoming part of your ongoing commentary. Take a deep breath in and coming back. Elongate the spine very gently, holding this space just for, and now very gently stretch the neck onto the right and onto the left to see whether there is any energy imbalances from the place of rising this energy called becoming. By observing, you're not accumulating. By observing, you're not avoiding it. Now take a deep breath in, shoulders relax and chest open. Now very gently stretch the back into the center after doing both sides. Very gently stretch the legs into the front. Now give a good rotation to the feet and allow all these shoes that you're wearing, releasing just that energy. That's why when we ask you to come to a center, we ask you to remove the shoes. That means you're leaving that past, the accumulation, the fear. So shake it. Now very gently, sole of the feet together, knees wide apart, shoulders relax very gently, opening up the hips, very gentle butterflying. Releasing the tension of the wrong conditioning. Releasing the conditioning of the growth of the emotion that are holding and shackling you in the body. Now take a deep breath in, bring the knees to the chest, completely breathe out. Chin up, push the belly into the front, shoulders roll back. Now very gently take a deep breath in without touching the floor with the feet, knees wide apart. So there's a subtle balancing act here. And shoulders relaxed, chest open. Very gently breathing into the space that you have created. Don't become tense. Now very gently take a deep breath in, lock onto the toes if you can. Now, if this is your posture for today, just stay there. Now take a deep breath in and stretch up to the ceiling, shoulders roll back, feet wide apart. Now very gently see that you're not bringing any tension into this posture. Just observe the posture, create the posture without no pain, no agony, but a greater ecstasy. Now very gently take a deep breath in. Shoulders relaxed, chin up, knees to the chest, breathe out. Now allow that pulsation to arise in that space of healing. Just observe. Now take a deep breath in, cross the ankles. Take another deep breath in, drop the knees, twist the spine very gently on the out breath onto the left side. Now in this time, I want you to open up a little bit more onto the left side. Pull the belly slightly in. Keep another deep cycles of breath. Naturally, you're accepting. Naturally on your place, whether you're twisting or not, you're in that space of the being. And the growth means you're being born into that very moment, not to the moment into the future, not to the moment into the past. Now, once you have done that breathing, take a deep breath in, coming back into the center. Shoulders relaxed, change the leg formation, and twisting the spine onto the right side. Same thing, in this single moment, the process continue of witnessing until you long live in this body. This is just the vehicle, huh? Twisting the spine to the right, opening up, and allowing things to happen. Allowing the energy to go deeper and deeper so that it comes into a new dimension, touching a new altitude. You're getting deeper, you're getting higher, you will be in the peaks of that space. And growth of this practice is not painful for the body. Breathing in back into the center, shoulders relaxed and chest open. Now shrug the shoulders up, tilt the head back, massage the back of the skull, and very gently working on that space of static. Static of you have been taught to cling to the familiar, cling to your misery. Without even not knowing, you talk the same thing. Almost you're in a loop. Each time you know in this, the loop disappears from your body. Chin to the chest, breathe out. Anus lock, navel lock, a gentle cat. Now take a deep breath in, coming back into the center. Left leg stretch back, right hip opening up into the place of the pigeon. This is a great way. This posture has so much of benefits, psychological and physiological. So that's why we take the posture. If you can use ways to gently opening up into this posture, it's great. Now take a deep breath in, look up to the ceiling, breathe out, walk those elbows into the front, drop them, palms facing up, very gently observe the agony of the body, agony of the mind, with the contribution, how it creates a permanent agony, whether it's the agony of your culture, agony of your conditioning, agony of your state. Now, when you are conditioned so much, the place of meditation is very painful, because it's almost like the wisdom tooth. It gives you pain before the teeth comes out. But now people don't want to have this holy pain. They avoid it and they pull it out, because maybe the doctor does not want you to grow into that patience. Take a deep breath in, very gently coming back. Shoulders relax, chest open, lift up the space of the heart. Take a deep breath in into a plank. Now, plank is very important in a place of maintaining the body strength. So spread those fingers widely. You're not holding up tension in the elbow or the shoulder. You are engaging the pelvic floor muscle. Your spine is from the back of the head to the feet. Taking that deep breath in and holding that posture. For another 6 deep cycles of breath, you're holding that posture. You're not slouching. Now, very gently take a deep breath in. Drop the knees, not in a hurry, to the gravity. Stretch the spine into the back. Buttocks relax onto the heels, palms facing up. Just observe where you have become comfortable and that you have stopped growing. Body continue to age, but the mind has stopped in the past. So there is a misalignment here, because people have grown-up bodies, but they are very much stopped somewhere down in the past because of the social structure, because of something else. So this is a great time to observe this. Now, very gently, palms facing down without any division, because you're observing. Crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in while you're softening your hips and feet. Whether you want to bring the feet together, feet apart, it's up to you. You're coming into the Makarasana, elbows onto the floor. Lift up the chest, and very gently you're bringing the existence of this posture from opening up the back to open up the chest. Now breathe. Remember, now the boundaries won't allow you to come into that place. Now, in your practice, you could see the nonsense. In your practice, you cannot be reduced to a mechanism, into a slave, because you're liberated. Now, once you take a hold of your being, your whole DNA take into that space of the being. Now, very gently relax onto the floor. Third eye land on the fist, where chest is open. Now your body is flexible because there is less bondages holding you. There is a dance, there is a trance, there is a song, there is a wind. It's not the spring happening on the outside. It is now happening within. It is not that the rain is refreshing outside, but there's a refreshing breeze. Now there's useless things that was hanging into the mind that the world is bad, world has to be corrected. Now you know the first one is to be corrected is you, and you're going through the seasons. Now take a deep breath in. Bring the palms where the elbows are, elbows pointing into the back. Don't point the elbows out because your shoulders climb. Coming into a Bhujangasana, breathing in. Now, even on that breath, if you want to make the posture stronger, you can lift up the palms from the floor and use the energy of the back to carry this beautiful space. What happened is we are never allowed to drop things. We are only asked to hold on to everything. So we are holding on to things that are not even meaningful, meaningless. So we have difficulties to grow up. We have difficulties to being clear, being smooth. Now take a deep breath in and coming down, shoulders relax. Change the head onto a side. Allow the body to open like into a flower, into a place of blooming. Whether what you call the body, spine, doesn't matter, breath. Shoulders relax and chest open. Take that deep breath in. Now change the sides of the head and the neck and relax. Allow the body to be open. Now there is a space that you're beginning to feel with no words. You're observing the energy, whatever it is, whether it's destructive or creative. But every stage is a stage of flow. Now take a deep breath in, palms onto the chest level, breathing in into an up face. Shoulders relax and chest open. Very gently breathe out towards the down face. Now bend your knees very gently. Be very courageous to expose into the space of the down face. Whatever comes into your mind, observe whether it's boredom, restlessness. Now take a deep breath in. Very gently bring that left foot into the front, into the pigeon pose. Shoulders roll back, opening up. Lift up the chest, take a deep breath in, drop the elbows, walk those palms into the front, palms facing up. Now take a deep breath in and observe the posture, the energy. Now take a deep breath in and very gently coming back. Shoulders relax. Open up the chest into a plank. Transitioning into a plank, observe the breath, observe the body, observe the mind. Even you take the identity, it comes from a place of observation. Take a deep breath in, drop the knees, stretch the spine into the back. Observe the space of that activeness, inactiveness in the space of silence. Observe if the mind or the body going crazy. If the mind is boring, observe it. If the mind is restlessness, observe it. Now take a deep breath in, crawling and bringing the chest into the front. Take a deep breath in. Elbows onto the floor, breathing into the Makarasana. If you can point the feet out and feet apart, that's also okay. If it is too hard on your space of the hip, and observe without bringing that guilt into it. Now take a deep breath, overlooking onto the left side. Take a deep breath in back to the center, overlooking onto the right side. Take a deep breath in, coming into the space. Breathe out, relax onto the floor. Now the dependency of the identification is very gently losing the power on you. If your dependency is still there, you're aware of it. So when there's no dependency on this, you suddenly feel there's no place of unworthy, no place of depression, no place of guilt. Now take a deep breath in, palms onto the chest level, breathing in into up face. Shoulders relax and chest open. Lift up the space of the heart. Now from the up face, there's a slight lift on the knees, overlooking onto the left side, so you can twist the body, upper body onto the left. That's great. Open up that tightness. Breathing in back into the center. Open up onto the right side. Open up. You only give up the posture if it is harder on your hips or the knees. Back to the center, onto the knees. Stretch the spine, palms facing up. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. Now, very moment you can observe where you have caught up. Does not need to be caught up. Now take a deep breath in and coming into the space of the child pose. Now in the child pose, you have to bring the knees together and your arms stretch. Your palms are going towards the feet. Now take a deep breath in and stay in this place. But if there is any difficulty occur, then you have to keep a pillow on your forehead so that you are not restricted in the breathing. Now observe what you want to repeat moment after moment, or what you would like to be reminded moment after moment. So understanding the foundation of, if you're repeating the same thing and it has become your ritual, this is a very good time to take a note of it, where your problems slowly creates. Where did your troubles begin? Now take a deep breath in and very gently waking up the spine, one vertebra at a time, shoulders relax, very gently just open. Observe the old stories, new stories, stories that you love to happen, stories that you are tired of having. All are stories. All are superficial clutter. Now very gently stretch the neck to the right. Explode the area as energy. There is a depth of anchoring into the deeper to observe these things. Without coming into that deep understanding, it's very hard to observe. So we are free from that contraction, holding, tension, breathing in back into the center, onto the other side, stretch the neck. Now take a deep breath in and coming back into the center. Coming up onto the knees, shoulders relax. Now we are going to go into the camel posture, Uttarasana, but you don't have to perform the Purna Uttarasana. You might be feeling you will shoulders roll back for a while. Right arm reaching up and going onto the right hip, whether it goes to the right heel, toes onto the floor, heel up, it's up to you. Hips pushed into the front, left arm reaching up, same thing. Very gently coming into the place of the camel pose in your time. Shoulders relaxed. If you want to work on the hips, emphasis on the hips. If you want to work on the lower back and the middle back and upper back, work on that area. So you have to strengthen into the place of your weakness, very gently coming into that awareness. Now, if you have a bolster, it's great. Otherwise, support the back, and this is a great time to come back into the child pose. You're allowing that space during the Uttarasana, before entering to the Uttarasana, allowing that long gap. The long gap which is not engaging into the posture, you're creating a generous gap, what you call retreating, where the growth also can happen. Not just only doing, whether doing or motion, but in the great opportunity to understand the whole phenomena of the psychology. You have choice to now change the old habits to create a place of, to drop those old habits. Now crown of the head onto the floor very gently. So remember, your weight should be carried through the crown, knees and feet. Now very gently lifting up the buttocks, observe. Observe, this is a very good place to observe the destructive energy fields that are moving through the chakras if they are not in alignment. Now very gently relax back to the floor, third eye on the fist, because energy is left to itself, is bound to be destructive unless it's used with awareness to become creative. Now, this is a time, as I said, do we need a lot in our life? Or we just can come into the place of the realization that what we have is enough. You have energy to enjoy, or you have energy to destructive the energy. Now, destructive energy as destructive does not create anything. Now, this is the time for you to go through the transformation. Use your energy. Less dependent on things outside because you have not worked very well. Less of a victim. And the most important part will be that you will not feel guilty and depressed. If you're constantly coming into the place of creating, there is no room for depression or guilt. Because your participation in the universe and your creativity is very important. And whatever you do, there will be a fulfillment and dignity. And that is your sole purpose, not fashionably running behind what the rest of the world is doing. Now very gently, wake up the spine one vertebra at a time. Shoulders relaxed and just open. Now very gently take a deep breath in. Arms raised onto the crown, interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Take a deep breath in and bring those arms back a little bit. Allow the space, allow the energy. Breath out, spread the wings and relax. Now very gently coming into a pose that you're going to very gently sit. Shoulders relax, chest open. Now take a moment to observe that you have not come into this practice to escape anything. And because you have escaped for a while, you feel maybe joyous, less miserable. But being is the place is most real joy. Not to be miserable is just kind of a forgetfulness. Because if you have not understand the misery is waiting back home for you after the class. Whenever you come back, it will be there. Whenever the excitement of the poses are not there, now you will ask, what is the point of this practice? What people call practice. So this is a very moment to observe. The excitement comes in, excitement leaves. Misery comes in, misery leaves. And this search for sensation has to stop. Now, even addiction to your misery is addiction. Now, when we no longer think out of addiction, that same feverishness comes that we are running out of a drug, running out of excitement. This is the false. But if you can observe in this very moment, it will take you into the depth. Now, whether a quality of breath coming through you and moving through you, you could see the grace that rise in, but very subtle, nothing grand about it. At least it's not superficial. Take a deep breath and keep this space open. Shoulders relax and just open. Something deeper growing you. It might be not the tree growing outside. It might be the roots going inwards. Nothing is wasted because you don't see the surface of it. Each breath you're pouring into the very roots of the truth. Your growth is not showing on the excitement. Your ultimate product is fulfillment. Excitement was the beginning. It was the trigger, but it's not the end. So don't hold on to the excitement. If something does not excite you and you cut it out of your life, you will never know the truth. And people say the excitement of your new project dies. It's not happening. Stay with it to know the grace of it. Whatever you have taken, even excitement or the silence. Now no words in the next part of the practice. With no effort to do anything, just being. Now we all are collectively sharing space. Now not even space. One being, sharing each other. Not thinking of what to do, what to say, where to go, how to enjoy it. All these things are gone. Everything exists. but I am not there. But I am there. Now you could see the things are happening. It is happening out of the grace. It's happening out of the silence. It's happening out of the rhythm, the frequency, energy. It will rise from your depth. It will be not just the body or the mind. Kundalini has the spiritual rising. Nothing to do to the body, with the body, although the body will partakes in it, participates in it. But it is not the source of it. You can apply this for love, finance, health, well-being. Allow it to take into the colors of the Tantra. Watch yourself that you're coming close. Allow it to move into it. Forget the excitement. Now you have a greater power to be patient, even more greater power to trust. Now very gently take a deep breath in. Arms raised onto the ground, cleansing the space of the aura. Now create that same space that you were creating for the body into the space of the home, not the house. A lot of people have houses, but not homes. A lot of people have sex, but not of love. A lot of people have medication, but not the health. Very gently bringing that profound teaching as the energy into the space of the crown, into the space of the third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, and navel. Breathing in, arms raised onto the crown, palms onto the Namaskar position. Realization that there is a space beyond the body, beyond the ideas, beyond the mind, beyond our desires. That who we are. Namaste from that space of collectiveness, of awakeness. Shoulders relaxed, just open. I am so sorry, Bhavani, that you have been waiting on the waiting room. Also didn't see that. But definitely, Bhavani, we will send you the class as soon as it may get downloaded. Isn't it that? And you allow Bhavani to. I don't say the screen. Yeah. Will allow Bhavani to come in. Bhavani, we are very sorry that we didn't see you. But Bhavani, we will send you the class. Sorry that we didn't see you there. My love to you, Sylvia. My love to you, Liz, Maria, our beautiful family, Daza, Rebecca, and Daza's son, Pam, and to Bhavani. Bhavani, I will send you the class. So today we went deeper into the practice to understand that a lot of things to be there also need a bigger realization. Not so much of our doing, because for us to find peace, we feel like we have to do something. For us to find retreat from a problem and a misery, we feel like we need to do things. And in this place of doing, what happens is we might have a temporary satisfaction. Whether we saw a friend, we had a drink, we went to the park, but then the misery waits at home unless we come into this realization. So when I say the world is about quantity more than the quality, world is also when people cannot develop into these stages, they want that physical ownership of houses, clothing, this, and it's all good. But they are much more good when you have the understanding. So I don't say you not to enjoy the world, not to enjoy the luxury of the world, but it is very important also to understand that you don't lose yourself by achieving these things. Because if you really see the news the world is saying about, have this as your security, then have that, then after that have this. And we are tired of being pushed and being running over this. So achieve what you want to achieve. That's why I gave the whole class how to achieve those things, but without being disturbed, because you cannot give birth out of disturbance, because you will create another misery. So if you, Bhavani, I'm so sorry you missed the class. I didn't see, because it's almost when we teach the class, like we go to a trance and we don't see the screen. But it will not be there next week, because I'm going to take some medical treatment to Queensland. But I will be back in a week. So a week after the class will be there. So please join us and please share that, and please send your emails or text, or some of you write on the YouTube. So all the class preparation comes from what we are going through as a collective, not so much as individual. As individual, we partake, but we come into a collective space of understanding. And if that understanding doesn't mean that your individuality has disappeared, but your individuality then that serve the purpose more consciously, so that we are not get pulled into situations. Because October 28th of the weather forecast of the planetary system is much more in favor of a collective consciousness is happening. We don't have to see the end of it. If we can be part of creating it, it would be great. Or maybe you're the part of taking care of the grid. It's not the spark. Maybe you're part of the healing. Maybe you're part of the light worker. Maybe you're part of the light shedder. Whatever it is, it's all important. So my love to you all in these times. It's a great world. Don't think the fantastic times in the past, or it has to be win in the future. All those moments to embrace is right now. See the innocence of your child, see the innocence of the plant, see the innocence of the nature. It's right there. It's not in a graphical future. So my love to you all, and big hugs to you, and I'll see you soon. Love to you all. Bye.